Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. Not really. I'm just using, I guess, YouTube to be able to get you guys a longer format video. Hopefully this won't be that long. We'll see how long it is. You'll know before me. I just want to give you guys information about where we're going for Zambia. I know some of you are more familiar than others, but you guys have signed up to go to Zambia for some reason, probably because God like pushed you in that direction, or someone told you about what Zambia was like. And yeah, I just want to give you guys more information so you can share that with supporters, with family, with friends, and to actually give you like direction on how to be praying and kind of thinking and preparing for the trip and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you that in just a sec. First, again, giving links. We're trying to give you guys that stuff this week. Staff we've been really busy with Man Retreat and Chica Retreat before that, and we actually had some finance stuff that we had to sort out before Thursday of last week. So we've just had our hands really full and haven't been able to knock out those giving links, but I'm going to be personally kind of attacking these Zambia ones so that you guys can give these online giving links to your supporters. So yeah, if they want to give through like check or whatever, like they can still use our PO box address. I can send that to the GroupMe if you guys don't have that, but if you were at support raising training, then you should have that information. But that's, yeah, I could say it, but I'll just send that in the GroupMe. But anyway, giving links, they're coming soon. They're coming soon. And yeah, let's get into the what's happening in Zambia and then Maputo stuff. So you may have heard me talk about this at service during announcements last week, but I'm just going to run through it again and maybe give it a little bit more detail and try to keep this video under like 10 minutes total. So we'll see. Zambia. Way back in the day, we'll say 20-ish years ago, a guy named Paul Van Kuller, he has an incredible testimony, and we can share that more, but he's got this incredible testimony. He was a rugby player in South Africa, like white guy. He basically started following Jesus, and he just had this, like, him and his dad, like, they're fighters. I don't know, they're just a different kind of man that, like, whenever they see a challenge, they just like want to attack it. And so whenever he started following Jesus, just the raw material that he was made out of was kind of incredible. And he was like, it's a huge injustice that all these people in the western province of Zambia that are so isolated from kind of the rest of Zambia and then the rest of the world. Zambia is already third world and pretty an isolated place in the middle of Africa. And so yeah, he was like, these people, they have to know who Jesus is. Someone has to go tell them. And so him and his wife moved to a city called Mangu. It's on, if Zambia is roughly this big and this shape, it's not, look it up on a map, but if it's generally this shape, the western province to you guys, that would be all this over here. Yeah, because the front camera mirrors it. So that would be all that over here, and the Zambezi River cuts it off. And so all this over here, it's an area, I want to say it's about the size of like half of Arkansas. So something like that. I might be a little bit wrong there, but big area, big geographic area. People are just very isolated. And the Zambezi River, it floods during the wet season, and it's like 70 kilometers across. That's however many miles. And then during the dry season, it's like a tiny little river, like, 70 meters across. It's like not that wide. But in the wet season, you can't get across it, and at least you couldn't whenever Paul Van Kuller like moved out there to try and start reaching the people of the western province. Yeah, those are the Salozi people, by the way, the people of the western province of Zambia. It used to be under an entirely different kingdom, and so the Salosi people speak the Lozi language, and he had a heart now for the Salosi people. And so that entire western province is known as Barotsland to the people there. And they are kind of their own people, and they have their own language. And throughout all of Zambia, there's like a bunch of different languages that are spoken. English kind of unites them because it's a trade language, because there's a lot of outside influence from other countries coming in for natural resources and stuff. And I think the English are the ones that kind of colonized it as well. And so anyway, there's a lot of English speaking, but people don't speak English, and there's a lot of different mother tongues and stuff. And so the Lozi people speak Lozi. And back to Paul, whenever he was first there, I think he was like one of two people that even had a car in the Western province. And there was no roads across the floodplains to the people that were like across the floodplains. Mongu was on the eastern side of the river. All the people he's really trying to access is on the western side of the river. So he would just take trips into the and across the floodplain to people in different big like villages. And basically they plant churches. They're trying to plant churches within walking distance of everybody in the western province of Zambia. And because most people just walk, so it's really the ideal thing is that basically every village has a church, and a church that like believes in Jesus, and that's not adulterated by these other like tribal ideas of like ancestral worship and stuff like that, and that believes in the power of the Holy Spirit. And so that's what they're doing. They've planted churches all over the place. I've gotten to be a part of like planting churches in a really cool area called Mateti, and I've visited other like villages in Zambia or in the Western province that had churches planted there. It was very cool. The people are really nice, really welcoming, really loving. They're excited to talk to you, and they want to hear about Jesus. They want to be ministered to. Like they recognize you've came a long way to speak with them, and so they give you their ear very, very quickly. And so we will go visit people in the bush. I'm pretty sure, not sure where exactly, but we're kind of at the will of the people at the mission space that's called the Zambia Project. And the Zambia Project is connected with and is part of, or Hope Church. There's Hope Church in Mongu. There's a Hope Church in down in George, South Africa, and they basically are they're partnered with each other and stuff. And so anyway, Hope Church Mongu, there's a lot of stuff going on there that's actually ministering to the people in Mongu, because they're part of the Western province. But also Paul, as they started building up their missions kind of base and like people that wanted to go and plant churches in the Western province, they saw that the people directly around them, not only did they just need Jesus, but they had immediate needs that Mongu just didn't have the infrastructure to meet. And so there's a lot of orphans. There's a lot of people that had medical needs that were easy to meet. So malaria has killed more people than anything. Malaria has killed more people than wars throughout human history. It's completely treatable. Like, we have medicine to treat it. And like, but it's still sad. People die because they don't have, still today, people die because they don't have access to medical attention that can like heal them, right? And so basically at the missions base at the Zambia Project, they started an orphanage. They started a school for kids that wouldn't have access, because the school system just works different there. They started a school so that kids would have access to a quality education. That school, as it developed, basically their students make the best grades in Mongu because they just do a really good job. The teachers do a really good job. They care about the kids. If you guys have ever heard of Manna Pack, because it's on a missions base, Manna Pack is an organization. They send food all over the world of people that need food. Well, Manna Pack Rice, they send that, and that's what the kids eat at school, at the Zambia Project. So if you've ever been a part of a Manna Pack thing, I got to be a part of a Manna Pack thing in Conway, where you're like filling these bags up and heat sealing them, and it's like a mixture of these vitamins and vegetables and rice. Yeah, I got to pack it, and then I actually saw kids eating it in Zambia. It was pretty cool. Yeah, so that goes on there. At the Zambia Project, they have an orphanage, but it's pretty unique in that, if you were part of Compact, where they had like families, it would be like an orphanage, but it's not just a bunch of kids in one big house or whatever. They break it up, and they'll have like different ages of kids, all the way down to like maybe even babies. There will be a house mother that takes care of and lives at this house, and takes care of basically all the kids that are there as they grow up and then get old enough to like have a job and live on their own. They like grow up with a family and the same kids, and it's not just a foster home. There's no one that's taking. It's not like here where there's like the hope of being adopted to somebody. People aren't adopting kids in Zambia, and Zambians aren't adopting kids in Zambia. And it's probably not even the best thing to take kids out of Zambia somewhere else, especially whenever they're orphaned at an older age. And so anyway, orphanage has these, it's really, really awesome. These kids basically grow up in families, and there's multiple houses and house families and house mothers there on base, where kids grow up in like a really safe conditions, in like a Christian home, and they basically have a mom, and they have brothers and sisters that are older and younger than them. It's like really awesome. So while we're on base, we'll get to spend time with those kids, hopefully, and play soccer with them, and like see them do all their like gymnastic stuff. They do all this like parkour and like back handsprings and backflips and stuff in the sand, like down hills and stuff. It's very cool. There's an old project video that really displays that. It's really cool. All those kids are super nice, and they want to talk to you and get pictures with you and all this stuff. And so, yeah, there's medical facilities there on base where people will come from a long ways to take their kids to the Zambia Project, medical facilities there. And what the locals know it as Matoya is that area of Mongu, and so they're going to Matoya to the clinic is what they'll say. And so yeah, while I was living there was a woman who brought her triplets, and she had walked, I think, with her triplets on her back for like 3 days to get them there. There's probably closer medical facilities because Mongu is a little bit more developed now, but she went to Matoya for the doctor there, and so those triplets were awesome. So gosh, they're probably like grown up and running around now. That'd be crazy. I doubt they're there at the Zambia Project, but still. Yeah, they drill wells for villages that don't have water. We've raised money in the past for like the Zambia Project to be able to go and drill a well in a village and provide access to water for people. Doubt will be a part of that this year. They do that though. They do local church. They do church planting stuff. They do pastoral, discipleship training. They're on base. They do humanitarian. They're like a humanitarian base for people that come over and do like dental or visionary care out in the bush. While I was there was a team, I think from Ireland, that came and did like vision care stuff for a really remote village in the Western Province. Yeah, that basically the Zambia Project does a ton of stuff, and they're trying to meet physical needs, but especially they're trying to meet a spiritual need for everyone to hear the name of Jesus. But we know that Jesus loved the orphaned and the widows and the people that, didn't have like the means to survive. And so it's loving to do both. And so that's what we're doing. Thinking if there's anything else in Zambia that's like worth talking about. maybe not. Just stuff for you to know about the trip is that we're gonna have students from SAU Chi Alpha with us in Zambia and in Maputo. We will, around May 15th, we'll fly out of here and spend the first 2 weeks, once we get there, in Zambia, doing everything we do in the Zambia, probably be in the bush for a little bit, probably be in Mongu for a little bit. We don't know the exact details of that even until we get there sometimes. And so we are in communications with the missionaries there. They are great. They're our friends. They're people that I'm excited to go back and see, because I spent 3 months with them, and they're excellent people that just are so fun to be around. And they love Jesus a ton. And so, yeah, we're gonna be there with 5 people from SAU, and they're support raising, and they're going on project with us. They'll be a part of our team, and how we manage all that, we'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Daniel Andrews will be on that trip with us, kind of leading his students and being there with his students. And so it'll kind of look like me and Daniel are leading that trip together. So that'll be really cool. Let's talk about Maputo. So probably around June 1st-ish, we'll be leaving Zambia and we'll be going to Maputo, Mozambique, where Matt and Andrea Marlin are. I don't know if Matt and Andrea will be there while we're there yet. I don't even know if they know that, but we know that Maddie and Zoe Pollum and Zach and Olivia Rice and some other people will be there while we're there, and other missionaries that they have. They actually have like raised up local Mozambican missionaries that are being sent out from there, so we'll probably meet some of them. Basically, they do college ministry in Maputo. A lot of you have heard of that. It looks a lot like Chi Alpha, just in an African city context. And so they're on like dozens and dozens of smaller college campuses all over Maputo, and now another city in a little bit further north in Mozambique. And so we may spend some time in the bush there, but it'll probably look more like going to different universities and meeting with groups of students, maybe going to different student leaders D groups, splitting up and going to different D groups throughout the week, and yeah, just being a part of their ministry. So, and there may be some like special events and even like local churches that we visit while we're there, opportunity for you to preach maybe, and just to meet lots of people and tell lots of people about Jesus and tell them your testimony about what has happened while you're in college. It's like you'll begin to realize that you have a lot of the same problems and you've faced a lot of the same things in your testimony that a lot of these students face on a daily basis. It's not that much different. And the thing is they really want to talk to you because you speak English, and they'll give you their ear and take you seriously because you're an American that speaks English, and they want to practice their English as well. And so it's a really big a big open door, and yeah, it's a really exciting place to be, and all that. So anyway, this is now 17 minutes long, and I have to figure out how to upload it to YouTube and send you guys a link. So I'm gonna wrap this thing up. If you have more questions, text me, ask in the group me. I think that's all. Bye.